Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. My name is Ragil Akbar Wijaya. My student number is 23, 21, 22, 136. Here, I'm gonna explain speech mechanism as my class to midterm test in phonetic and phonology lecture. Speech mechanism. Human can communicate with other humans by using language. So do animals. But they use a means which is not language in the way humans use. I'm going to explain this first. Humans use language as a tool for communication. But the difference with animal is animals not exactly use a language because they are use a language as tools for their instinct for survival. Like Miss Agi's PowerPoint in our meeting, she gave us 3 examples, like bee, monkey, and whale. For example, bee is using their wings to make kind of vibration that will produce a sound. But they have a lot of pattern. That's what we call the dance of bee, because they have a lot of pattern of their sound of wings. Second example for animals' language is monkey sound of dangers. Like when monkey see a predators coming, it will not stand down. It will making a lot of noise for other animals or monkey itself being aware for predators coming to them. And the third example is whale echolocation. We all know that whale is a big creature and they live in the deep of water. So when they have a kind of gift, that echolocation, so they will use it for communicate with other whale or attractive other gender for their need of reproduction. So echolocation of whale is very useful for communication. But are they language? We can all assume that it's a language, but for true is they're not using a language as a human use. So they're using that language as an instinct for survival. That is speech mechanism for animals. Okay, I'm gonna continue for what? Speech mechanism. What is speech mechanism? Speech mechanism refers to the complex set of physical and psychological process involved in producing speech sounds with various structure and coordination among different parts of human body to create the sounds used in spoken language. So this means when you will use speech mechanism, you will use a lot of complex part of your body, like your lungs, your larynx, your mouth, and your brain, of course. Why? Why is speech mechanism used? Human has language and its system. So when we are going to communicate with our language, of course, human will use its system to make a sound that we are understand from the speaker and the listener. So we call language, and then it calls speech mechanism. How we will use we want to know how we create a sound speech mechanism. When human want to produce a sound, he pushes out the air from the lungs to the larynx, where fold located, and a sound vibrates to be voiceless or voiced through mouth or nose. Interesting is when we are gonna speak something or we gonna sound something, we produce sound by pushing air from our lungs through the larynx or our throat, and then going to our mouth. And from mouth, we will make a lot of sound that we create a language itself. The process of using language is from the speaker. Brain will motor nerves to vocal muscle and feedback line to ear. Like our brain is motoric nerve system to our vocal muscle, like in here and in here, and will give us feedback line to our ear that what are we talking about like this. When I talking about this, my brain is thinking about, I'm gonna talk about this, I'm gonna talk about that, and then she sent motoric nerves to my vocal muscle, and then my vocal muscle is producing sound, kind of vibrates and producing sound, and then that sound is sending a feedback line to my ear, and then my ear is like correcting this kind of sound, and then I make a sound waves to a listener. For example, for all of you watching my video, especially Ms. Agis, and then for listener, the process of using language is, for listener, is from ear, you will censoring the feedback line, and then we'll send it back to the listener brain. All right, that is the process of using language. And then speech mechanism needs a neurological mechanism, which is brain, of course, and respiration system, which is lung, speech tract, vocal cord, and then articulated system. First item is very important for us, that speech mechanism needs a brain, because if we don't, if our brain is distracted, or our brain is not usually in a good function, then we cannot produce a sound in a good way or communicate in the best language we can be. And then respiration system, which is lungs and speech tract. Lungs is need for our push air, what I talked about that in the beginning. So speech tract will use that air to create a vibration to our mouth. It's an interesting item, because when vocal cord is closer, it's kind of gate in our vocal cord. When we use air, they will open or close. So it is the reason why you get a choke, or when you eat while you speaking, or when you speak while you eating. And then the last is articulatory system, which is mouth and tongue, because this is important too. When you do not have a good condition of your mouth, you will have a speech mechanism is not your best speech mechanism, because your mouth is not doing well. And my conclusion is, human is gifted with biological and neurological mechanism to produce distinctive sound which make up meaningful units as known as word. So human is gifted by biological and neurological mechanism. So we can produce a sort of sound that we call word, and then we can use that and we can understand that as a language. So language is not just we talk about something, but we know the meaning of that word. So that is my explanation about speech mechanism. My name is Ragil Akbar Wijaya, and thank you for your attention.